Hi, I'm Elise, and thank you for stopping by. Today, I just wanted to show you a fun, simple Thanksgiving sign that you could make because if I could do it, you could do it. It's really simple, easy, doesn't take a lot to it, and you could display it this year or next year or even throughout the year. So let's get going. So for this project, you're going to need a few things. I have this piece of wood that I'm using for the sign. You're going to need some paint, a paintbrush, scissors, a pencil maybe, and some fabric and some vinyl. So the first thing I'm going to do is paint this piece of wood that we got at a garage sale. And I'm using this water-based paint from the Dollar Tree that I got. I've used it in some of my other videos. And I'm just going to get a nice layer on the back side of it. And then once it dries, I'll put another layer just to make it nice and thick. And then I will do the front side. So after I let both layers dried, turned it over, and I wanted to do the front side, even though it's going to be covered with fabric, I wanted to make sure that I did at least one layer of color just to make sure that that wording on it wasn't going to come through the fabric. So I just quickly did a layer of paint just to make sure that it was all covered. Once both sides were completely dry, along with the sides, it was time to put the fabric on. I chose this really cute leaf fabric that I thought would look really well with it. I cut the fabric down to fit just a little bit over the piece of wood so I could glue it down onto the sides. But first I printed out a Be Thankful sign from my Cricut and I weeded it. So first what you do is you grab it from the corner, and once you get a hold of the corner, then you can pull it away from either your picture or your words. And again, I printed this out on my Cricut. If you want to see how I did that, I will link in the corner a previous video where I showed how I download and print everything from the computer onto my Cricut. So as you can see, the vinyl was kind of tough to get off, but if you do it right, you can actually sometimes use the vinyl as a template if you want to paint the saying on it afterwards. So I just took the weeder and made sure that everything was off that I needed. It was now ready to iron it onto the fabric. So usually I use a press, but since this was such a small project, I decided to just go ahead and use an iron. If you don't have like a Cricut press or another type of press, you can use your iron. You want to have something like a towel or a piece of foam or whatever to go underneath it to protect it from the table. Your ironing board will work as well. You want to make sure that you line it up correctly. And then you're going to want to put some kind of covering over it, either a piece of material. This is a protection sheet that I had. You can use a washcloth, but just something to protect your lettering. Then you're going to hold down, but you want to make sure that it's not too hot and that you don't press down too hard or too long. As you can kind of see, I held mine down just a little bit too long and it was just a little too hot. So the plastic actually melted a little bit. My words still came out pretty good, but if you look closely, they did kind of bubble up just a little bit. So I just held it down just maybe a little bit too long. It might have been just a little too hot, but you have to be very careful and watch what you're doing. Once I let my fabric cool a little bit, it was time to add it to the piece of board that I got. Like I said, I did cut it just a little bit over the edges, so I would have plenty of room to go over the sides of the piece of wood. My original plan was to use this glue that I had, but as you can see, I was struggling with it. It didn't want to come out. It was old and it was like putty. So I finally got a little bit out to try and glue my fabric to the wood, which if it was newer glue, I would have been able to get it on the wood and it probably would have worked really well. But at the moment, that's all I had, and I didn't realize that it was so old. I did manage to get enough out of the bottle to be able to tack each of the sides down so it wouldn't move the material as I worked on it. As you could see, it was very thick. I did end up tacking it down a little bit more with the glue gun just to make sure it was a little bit more secure. Once I got the front tacked down, I worked on the sides. Once I got the sides down and the corners down, I was looking at it and it just seemed a little plain, so I decided to embellish it a little bit and add some ribbon around the sign. I felt like it still needed more, so I found this light gold ribbon to even accent it even more. I thought the gold would pull out the gold flakes or gold coloring that were around the leaves in the fabric. Once I got the accent on, there was one little part that I wasn't really happy with, where the gold cord met on the other side. It was kind of rough, so I wanted to try and glue it down a little better. And then I decided to add a bow to help cover it up. It was all ready to hang, so I have a cheap little method that I like to use. I take the top off of a soda can. I just feel like they're the perfect little size that's cheap, it's easy, something that you have in your home. I bend it just a little bit to make sure that I can put it over a nail or a tack or whatever I have to put in the wall. You just find the center of your project, of your sign. A lot of times you can measure it, or in my case I just eyed it, and then just put a bit of glue down to keep it in its place. And you're done. So there you have it. This really cute Thanksgiving sign. At least I think it's cute. It was so simple to do. It didn't take that much time at all. And now I have a sign that I can place around my house this time of year, and it will always remind me to be thankful. So what are you thankful for? And I just want to let you know that I am so thankful for you for stopping by, for sticking through this whole video. And I'm so thankful for my family and my friends and just all the joys I have in my life. And I hope that you always remember, not just this time of year, but throughout the whole year, to be thankful. So if you like this kind of content, please give it a big thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe. Push that bell notification so when my next video comes up, you will be notified. And I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving. And until next time, have a great day, a great week, and I'll see you later.